Nike struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlyn Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. So why in the world are they ignoring?
Nike is in major trouble, all due to their way of handling Caitlyn Clark. Have they made one of the biggest mistakes ever by choosing to ignore Caitlyn?
She just wants to be the best basketball player. And she's caught up in this political deal, and she's caught up in this racial discussion, and she's dealing with Nike, an organization that got her on a bargain basement deal and is telling her, well, we're gonna wait to promote you until we're done promoting Asia Wilson. Won't even put out a Caitlyn Clark commercial, won't put out a Caitlyn Clark shoe, because Nike has decided that they must bow.
Nike has declined in recent years. They have lost more than $100 billion in value since 2021. It got so bad that many people asked that their CEO be fired, which forced him to retire. Is sports losing popularity? No. So, what's going on at Nike, and what does Caitlyn Clark have to do with it?
At the start of this year's WNBA season, it was announced that Caitlyn Clark signed a massive endorsement deal with Nike. This deal was for 8 years, $28 million with a signature sneaker included.
Not that big of a deal for a generational talent, right? That's what everyone else also thought. Nike was about to make a bag because they might have just signed on of the biggest starts for the next 2 decades. But then, nothing. Complete silence. Nike just bailed.
Like a fantastic deal. Now, since she has signed this contract, you guys, and her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlyn Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlyn Clark signature shoes. It is mind-blowing.
However, there is some good news. Nike has signed one of the few generational stars with the potential to generate billions. Think of Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, and now Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn signed an 8-year contract with Nike worth up to $28 million in April of this year, a bargain that Nike will profit from, particularly with the signature shoe. Despite being named unanimous WNBA Rookie of the Year, Nike has no plans to manufacture a Caitlyn Clark shoe. Why not? Nike's official reasoning is obviously incorrect. What are they hiding? This narrative takes a crazy turn.
In summary, Nike lucked into the marketing chance of a generation, and they're using that to advertise old product. Why is it happening this way? Now here's the money.
First and foremost, Caitlyn had already signed a non-binding deal with Nike when she blew up in college. Caitlyn was so popular that she became the most well-known collegiate player in the country, twice as popular as second-place Angel Reese and 4 times more than the most popular male player. That has never happened before. When she became professional, several shoe manufacturers pursued her. Under Armour announced that she will be the face of the Curry brand, and Adidas and Nike also made bids. She stayed with Nike because of how they pushed her in college, and everyone was eager for an update on her trademark sneaker. But there is still no update. Previously there was, but this upgrade is just ridiculous.
The thing that is the most surprising about this is if you guys remember when Caitlyn Clark was playing at Iowa, Nike ran ads about her. When she broke the record for the most points in NCAA scoring history for both the men and the women, Nike put up this huge billboard that's basically like, if you break it, you own it. And this was in Iowa. They had other ads and things that came out, but since then it has been
Then, Aja Wilson, who had just won another MVP, showed out her sneaker, revealing a stunning fact about Caitlyn. Wilson's shoe, which began development in 2023, is expected to be introduced in spring 2025. According to this 2-year plan, Clark's shoe might be sold in stores in 2026 to 2027. What? 2027? Nike's reason? The process is extensive and requires Clark and the Nike team's support, in addition to producing millions of pairs and coordinating a marketing campaign.
So why in the world are they being so quiet about Caitlyn? Either one, there's some stuff going on behind the scenes at Nike. Their stock has dropped like 20% this year. I know that they have fired people, hired new people, like there's a lot of moving parts. That to me, I know they're blaming some of it on that, but that seems to be such a small, minor detail when you have the gold mine that is Caitlyn Clark. It seems to me that it is more on the political side as to why Caitlyn Clark is not getting the praise, the commercials, the ads, the merch, like all of the things that she should have gotten during this rookie season.
Does make sense, right? But wait, there's more.
Had his own signature shoe his rookie year. So 20 years ago, Nike was nimble enough and had enough vision to see that, hey, let's get LeBron's shoe out here. This guy's going to be a big deal. They can't do this for Caitlyn Clark for some reason. And lo and behold, though it wasn't exactly pushed on the public, there has been no Nike commercial for Clark as a pro. Let that sink in. No Caitlyn Clark commercial. She's had 4 years of being the biggest star in all of sports, driving up these television ratings. No Nike commercial.
So, if that is Nike's argument, they are lying. In 2003, shoe companies were interested in signing LeBron James. Reebok, Adidas, and Nike all wanted to sign him, and a signature shoe was at the top of their list. Nike even began creating his shoes before he signed. They didn't want the story to spread, so they devised an internal code name, Air Zoom Nobel, LeBron spelled backward. Okay, that was obvious, so they selected Air Zoom Generation instead. While LeBron was still in high school, Nike started designing and manufacturing a sneaker for him without his knowledge. They intended to completely overwhelm him, and it worked. LeBron collaborated with Nike and donned the LeBron 1S in his NBA debut. So you're telling me that Nike has gotten so bad at shoe production that what used to take 3 months now takes 3 years? No, there is something else going on here. Caitlyn is breaking records while wearing Kobe's but has yet to feature in a Nike advertisement. They are purposefully avoiding putting her in the spotlight. Could this have been the plan after all? Get her on one of the longest agreements ever, just to throw her aside because Nike is preoccupied with someone else? Aja Wilson?
In summary, Nike lucked into the marketing chance of a generation, and they're using that to advertise old product. Why is it happening this way? Now here's the money. Based on conversations with people in the know, it indeed has something to do with the WNBA MVP and Nike athlete Aja Wilson. But beyond Wilson, it's about the culture of the company that's more concerned with quelling noise rather than making it as Nike once used to.
In fact, Ethan Strauss, a well-connected and recognized writer, revealed on Substack that, based on encounters with insiders, it is undoubtedly linked to WNBA MVP and Nike athlete Aja Wilson. Really? What would that be? When Caitlyn signed her $28 million contract with Nike, she received a lot of criticism on social media. In fact, a prominent publication printed the following headline: Caitlyn Clark is reportedly getting her own shoe. This is why people are upset. According to the narrative, while Caitlyn's own shoe is a positive move for women's basketball, reporting on the arrangement has stirred outrage. What is the problem? Some fans stated that the only WNBA players wearing signature shoes were white. Many people thought Las Vegas Aces Aja Wilson should have gotten her own shoe before Clark, who hadn't even played a WNBA game yet.
Going into this season, we will not see that again. She came off of playing in a national championship game that had over 20 million people tuned into that game, then going straight into the draft, and then going straight into the WNBA and breaking an insane amount of records in her rookie season, winning Rookie of the Year. However, it has yet to be officially announced. She had the craziest momentum that we have ever seen with any athlete in the history of ever. And the fact that Nike did not capitalize on that, the fact that they are the biggest athletic sportswear brand in the world, and we didn't hear a peep out of them the entire season, it truly makes me wonder, like, if I were Caitlyn Clark's management, and again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I would be truly rethinking the deal that I signed up for. How do you miss an opportunity like that? How do you not capitalize? It doesn't make any sense at all. Is Aja Wilson currently the best player in the WNBA? Yes. Is Caitlyn Clark currently the face of the WNBA? Yes. Do I think if Aja Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlyn Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time, that Caitlyn Clark would outsell Aja's shoe by 100 times? Yes, I think that would be the case. And I'm sorry to break that news to everybody, whether it's fair, whether it's whatever, that's just the truth. We saw the jersey sales numbers. We didn't actually see the actual numbers, but we saw the top jersey sales in the WNBA this season. And Aja, despite being a third-time MVP, her jersey sales were 5th in the league, even after Kate Martin, who barely saw the court the second half.
Perhaps this scared Nike off, don't you think?
idiots. They're not about business. They're not about growing the WNBA. They're about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is insanity what they're doing to Caitlyn Clark. It's bad business. It's short-sighted.
So it's not that Caitlyn isn't excellent at basketball, it's just that it's unfair and racist. Why would Nike choose justice above profitability? Even worse, why would Nike budge when this clearly demonstrates a racial motive? If they had just moved on in the most lucrative way, it would not have been such a huge deal. But they didn't. They are hiding behind lame excuses like dropping revenue and layoffs. But at the same time, they have plenty of time to work on stuff for A'ja Wilson. So their WNBA department isn't closed, right? Well then why don't they just spend some time on Caitlyn? It's because they know what will happen. A'ja will be forgotten, and Nike will have to pay a contract that isn't delivering in terms of revenue. It's something we've seen happen before in the NBA. As later in his story, Ethan made a fantastic comparison between Allen Iverson and Tim Duncan. Duncan was clearly the better player, but Iverson dominated shoe sales and no one complained about fairness. In fact, Nike tested Tim Duncan's shoes twice before discontinuing them due to low sales. Do you know who did not care? Tim Duncan. But if A'ja Wilson were like Duncan, Caitlyn Clark's circumstances may be different, but it isn't. A'ja adores being featured in Nike advertisements, as she should. Most people desire to be on billboards and in advertisements. Plus, it's lucrative. However, she also appears to foster the notion that it is racist. Check out what she told her teammate Kelsey Plum while watching another white athlete, Paige Buckers.
Hey, stalkers! Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me. You know, if she knows that her privilege is getting to that point, and also, like, she's good at basketball. Like, she understands her privilege, and yeah, which is over the top in the table. It reminds me a lot of you. And I think, I mean, that's
Plum said, "Thank you." But A'ja's response shows that Paige's luxury has carried her to the top. Of course, she is also an excellent basketball player. No. Which is it? If A'ja is Nike's best female athlete, they do not want to upset her. Imagine the backlash Caitlyn would have faced if Nike had offered her a sneaker right away. Even Team USA's coach chastised Caitlyn Clark. The WNBA tweeted about the first preseason game, in which Caitlyn appeared significantly. However, the Lynx and USA coach stated, "Also in play tonight are teams other than Caitlyn Clark, etc. The W represents more than one player." People were unhappy that a WNBA and Olympic coach used the hashtag. An older woman is outraged at a 22-year-old's preseason debut. But it was not all. Unsurprisingly, Caitlyn was left off the Team USA roster. What was the rationale provided? She hadn't earned it yet. Oh, it is not jealousy, it's a basketball decision. Caitlyn went on to be selected first-team All-WNBA as a rookie, leading all rookies in points, field goals made, assists, steals, and minutes, while also leading all players in assists and three-pointers made. She finished fourth in MVP voting. Her games attracted over 1 million viewers on television, despite the fact that the average WNBA game draws only 300,000. A ticket to her first playoff game was more expensive than all previous WNBA playoff games combined. The Washington Mystics recently hosted Caitlyn's club, the Indiana Fever, and had to relocate to the Wizards Arena to accommodate all of the fans, setting a new WNBA attendance record. So, despite the hoopla, she is very amazing. Team USA ultimately admitted that keeping her off the roster was a mistake. And now, Nike is approaching a time where they will be sorry for neglecting the biggest star the WNBA has ever seen. And the fans are also starting to notice, resulting in major backlash for Nike. Just have a look at these comments. So let me get this straight. 1. Nike signed Caitlyn Clark to a big deal, but haven't posted a congratulations post for winning Rhodey. 2. WNBA haven't posted the Roddy winner either, but the Adidas ambassador did a whole post congratulating CC on her accomplishments. Shaking my head. It seems odd that I haven't seen any Nike commercials with Caitlyn Clark since turning professional and becoming Rookie of the Year. Seems like a massive miss. And after paying her tens of millions of dollars, she still doesn't have a shoe anywhere in sight. They know the WNBA league hates Caitlyn Clark. Nike does not want to cause controversy. The WNBA is a hostile work environment for a straight white Catholic woman trying to play at the professional level. Adidas celebrating Caitlyn Clark's phenomenal rookie year, while her endorser Nike stays mum to prevent hurt feelings for A'ja, is savvy business. So, what about it, Nike? Are you really that hesitant to give Caitlyn Clark her own shoe for fear of a social media backlash? Do you think it's apparent why the previous CEO had to stand down? Let me know your opinions in the comments section below.